The tracks lead this way.
I see them. We need to move.
Let's go.
I love you so much.
Imani Rivers could read footprints the way others read newspapers. In rural Georgia's longleaf pine forest, the soil whispered to her, every broken twig, every bent blade of grass telling a story she alone could fully hear. Caleb Monroe once ran Atlanta alleys with fast hands and faster lies. Now he hunted deer and wild boar, feeding his sister's children with meat earned honestly, though the past still clung to him like smoke. They met at dawn near the Flint River, her tracking a wounded buck, him field dressing a clean kill. Suspicion lingered between them, but so did a strange, electric respect. Imani watched how Caleb moved, careful, patient, reverent of the land. This was no reckless poacher. The forest, she sensed, had accepted him. Caleb noticed how she listened more than she spoke. Something in her silence made him want to be honest in ways the city never demanded. Marcus Hale heard about Caleb from town gossip and felt old jealousy burn. Imani had left Marcus years ago, tired of his possessive love and violent temper. Imani taught Caleb how to track without disturbing the ground. In return, he showed her how to cook venison stew that tasted like survival and home. Days turned into weeks. Their conversations grew softer, their laughter quieter, as if they feared the forest might overhear and judge them. A protected black bear was found dead near the reserve boundary. The news spread fast, and fingers searched for someone to blame. Marcus whispered Caleb's name to the game warden, planting lies like seeds. He knew Caleb's past would do the rest. Caleb was arrested near his hunting grounds. The forest stood silent as cuffs closed around wrists that had only ever carried tools and rifles. In the holding cell, Caleb realized reform didn't erase suspicion. A black man with a record needed no evidence, only a story. Imani refused to stay neutral. She knew the forest better than any badge-wearing outsider, and it would speak through her. She returned to the kill site and saw what others missed. The bear had been shot with a weapon Caleb never owned. Marcus watched the chaos unfold, convinced Imani would come back to him now that Caleb was falling apart. The trial began in a small-town courthouse where truth bowed to reputation. Caleb's past was paraded like proof. Imani took the stand, her voice steady. She spoke of bullet trajectories, animal behavior, and falsified tracks. For the first time, the jury hesitated. The forest's logic challenged the town's prejudice. Marcus cornered Imani one night, warning her to stop. His jealousy finally showed its teeth. Imani fled into the woods, knowing every trail. The forest wrapped around her like armor. From jail, Caleb confessed his past openly, stripping Marcus's lies of power. Redemption, he learned, required exposure. A search of Marcus's truck revealed the illegal weapon. The truth began to surface, slow and ugly. Marcus was arrested, rage spilling from him as the town finally saw what Imani had fled years ago. Evidence from the land itself, mud, bark, wind patterns, cleared Caleb's name. The verdict echoed through the courtroom. Caleb closed his eyes, not in relief, but gratitude. Freedom felt fragile. Caleb wondered if love could survive this scar. She stood where they first met, unsure if some things broke beyond repair. Caleb walked toward her, slower than before, changed. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Their reunion was quiet, hands brushing, breath shared. The forest approved. They began working together officially, protecting wildlife and teaching ethical tracking to local youth. Caleb struggled with nightmares of cells and sirens. Imani learned patience was also a form of love. Autumn burned gold, winter came gentle. Healing followed no straight path. Some still judged. Others learned. Change arrived slowly, like roots breaking stone. Marcus wrote apologies no one answered. Consequences, at last, had teeth. Children followed Imani through the woods, learning to listen instead of conquer. Caleb spoke at community meetings, his story becoming a bridge for others trying to leave the streets. They stopped hiding. Hand in hand, they claimed space. A hurricane tore through the forest. Together, they survived, sheltering neighbors and animals alike. So did they, scarred but standing. Caleb proposed with a ring carved from fallen oak. Imani said yes before he finished speaking. They married beneath tall trees, vows echoing where lies once grew. Their cabin rose plank by plank, patience embedded in every nail. They knew the law mattered, but truth lived deeper. Every trail still remembered what happened. So did they. They welcomed a child who learned to walk on soft earth. Caleb told his past without shame. Imani listened without fear. Marcus faded into history, no longer haunting their future. Their work protected land, lives, and second chances. The forest remained both courtroom and sanctuary, fairer than any man-made system. Long after footprints vanished, the trees held their story, love tested, truth proven, and redemption rooted deep.